Hi guys, right, let's get into the nitty gritty of this review so far. So obviously here it is then, the Fly Egg 130mm, and what that 130mm means is that from motor to motor is 130mm, meaning pretty much this is a quad that is designed to fly or use up to 3-inch propellers. So the main body then, it's made out of carbon fibre. There and thereabouts 2.5mm. It is a little bit flexible and it doesn't feel like the best carbon in the world, but for the price of this quad, which is near enough $100, it's very, very good, to be fair. And I have flown it already, as you can see by scuff marks on the props and stuff. I flew it in my back garden into a fence and it's still fine, so yeah, durability test done. Then you've got the canopy or protective pod cover, or whatever you want to call it, which is made out of aluminium. The motors are 1105 7000 kV motors, so they've got plenty of poke there on 2S, which I've found so far. I've not flown 3S, which this is capable of, so there's probably even more to get out of it yet. And obviously it comes with the 3-inch propellers, but you could also probably put 2-inch propellers on there, especially if you want to use a 3S LiPo, because you'll find that it'll be more efficient with 2-inch propellers, but you might lose obviously a bit of control in the air. Then leading from the motors, you've got the innards, which starting off with is a stack, an F3 stack. On the bottom we've got a 4-in-1 10A ESC. It's supposed to be D-shot ready, but it's not. There must be some pads you need to solder or a cap you need to take off for it to work, but it does work out the box on multi-shot on 1-shot 25. And above that you've got an F3 flight controller. Very, very good flight controller. It can do 4K easily. I don't think I've tried 8K yet, but 4K is good enough for anyone really. So yeah, that's that. It comes flashed with beta 3.17, but I will be changing to 3.2. I just wanted to keep it on this so I could show you when I'm flying it what it's like. Then we have got the camera. It's a micro camera. It's not too bad, to be honest. The field of view is not too bad. The colours and the contrasts are a bit iffy, but for what it is, it's not too bad. It's easily flyable, put it that way. I'm flying through trees and all that kind of stuff with no dramas. So yeah, that's the camera. Obviously feeding the camera, what's sending the image from the camera to your goggles is your VTX, which is here. And it is a 5.8 GHz VTX, switchable, so it switches from 25, or you can have a higher output if you're struggling around some obstacles, etc., and switch it up to 100 milliwatt. It has 16 channels. Some may think that's not enough, but it's got the most important ones on there, which is race band, and it's also got E-band as well. Then from that you've got a little whip antenna. These are fine. I use them on quite a few of my quads so far without any dramas, especially if you're not flying out to great distances, like just around the track, etc. Then behind that here we have the LEDs. These are pre-configured RGB adjustable LEDs. Like I said, yeah, they're already set up in beta flight, so you don't have to change anything, but basically they light up red, and then when you're in the air, if you roll either way, the corresponding light will light up like an indicator, basically. Yeah, on the bottom we have a buzzer that's already pre-configured, so once you band your transmitter, I advise you set this up, especially with these being so small. If you do crash into a tree or something, it might be quite hard to find, so as long as the battery is plugged in, the buzzer is a very good aid. And then we've got the LiPo pad here. It's not adhesive or anything, it's not sticky. I think it's just there just to help stop vibrations, to be honest. We've got the LiPo strap itself to help secure the LiPo. It's not the best, but it does work. But if you have got a small LiPo strap, I advise you put that in there. Underneath that we have the receiver for your radio transmitter. On the website itself, on GearBest, on this product page, you can choose to either have it sent without a receiver, or you can choose to have a receiver sent with it. There's many different ones for different radios, like obviously FI Sky and Futaba and etc, etc. I chose for mine not to be sent with one because the XM Plus, the XM is not as good as this one which I have in here, which is the XM Plus. This is just a better receiver, with it being diversity. So yeah, I chose that and I soldered it up myself. It's not simple, it's literally just 3 wires onto the flight controller. And that is pretty much it, apart from this, which is your power cable. Obviously you plug your LiPo into this to feed power to your quad itself. It works, it's decent, but the only problem with it is that it's a balance connector. So what that means is this balance connector will only fit a 2S LiPo because it's a 2S balance connector. So even though this quad is rated up to 3S, if you had a 3S LiPo, you couldn't actually put a 3S LiPo onto this quad because it wouldn't fit because of this connector. So what you would have to do is either swap this out for a JST or something like an XT30 to be able to use different sizes of LiPos. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will now just cover just a couple of little tips about this quad, which will help the longevity of your flying basically, so you're not constantly repairing it. If you see obviously all the motor wires are exposed, none of them have cable tied down or anything, they're all loose, so with that you can easily get prop strikes. So what you can do is you can either get a broken prop, cut it up, and then you just literally just cable tie it or tape it on over the wires where the prop, if it was to bend, would strike the wires, and that way when it does strike it's just going to run over the top of the broken prop and it'll protect your wires. Or if you don't mind taking things about and reassembling all that kind of jazz, this frame does actually have holes on the end of the arms, so you can desolder the wires, switch the motor around, reattach the motor, and then feed the wires through the bottom and then back into the ESC. I do actually prefer to do this on my bigger quads. I prefer to have the motor wires underneath and then go into the ESCs or whatever, so it just alleviates any prop strikes. So yeah, that is the quad itself. I'll now switch to some in-flight footage and I'll tell you obviously more about the quad itself in flight and how it flies off the bat basically, and whether it needs a tune or whether it's just plug and play and it'll fly like the most locked in quad you've ever flown in your life. But yes, stay tuned, see you in a bit.